Hiya folks, Nella here with Benji. First off, before I delve into all the character stuff and why Benji is here, I have to say it is my birthday today. Yeah, another year under my belt. I have made it through and survived yet another year. So yeah, go me. Anyway, character stuff. Benji is here because I figured some stuff out for him. So I made a previous video talking about Benji and his relationship with one of the statues at the Curiosity Shop in particular, the bust that is known as Untitled, or as Benji calls him, Seb, or Sebi, or Sebastian. And I wrote a lot of this on my live journal, so I'm not sure how much I spoke about on here, though I think I did. But the reason why Benji calls this bust Seb, or Sebi, or Sebastian is because Untitled bears an uncanny resemblance to someone that Benji knew and actually had a crush on, whose name was Sebastian, the French version of Sebastian. And what it was is that Sebastian and Benji were in the, got involved, they were both involved with this rebellion, that they were hoping to turn into a revolution. And unfortunately, as you may or may not recall, that did not end well. Benji was one of the few of the failed revolutionaries that actually did not get arrested or killed. And unfortunately, Sebastian was one of the ones who was killed, and Benji actually saw him get shot. Benji never told Sebastian that he had a crush on him, because Benji didn't want to jeopardize their strange, uneasy friendship by introducing that element, so he just never said anything. Benji was an artist, is an artist, particularly a painter. And while he was out school, he actually managed to convince Sebastian to go in and be a model for a few days. Unfortunately for Benji, it was nude modeling for the sculptors, not for the painters. So it actually is possible that Untitled is, in all actual fact, a sculpture of the Sebastian that Benji knew, but like many things in the Curiosity Shop, it's very ambiguous. It's a very ambiguous situation. It's not known whether it is, if Untitled actually is a representation of this person that Benji knew, or if it's just purely coincidence. Or maybe he is a representation of Sebastian in another universe, or another set of reality. That's also a possibility. But whatever. The interesting bit is that Seb, the bust, ends up having a massive crush on Benji. Mostly because Seb is, I'm going to say it, Seb is a porcupine. He's very prickly. He really hates that he doesn't have a full body. All of the other living statues do, but he's just a head on a pedestal with the top half of his shoulder. So, he's really not happy with that situation. But Benji is very kind to him and actually sits and talks with him. And one of the scenes that I actually partially written out now, is Benji painting on Seb. The thing with Sebi I'm going to use that term because it's hilarious when I imagine him. So the thing about Sebi is that he's made out of stone, he's carved out of stone. So he's actually gray. And not like a uniform gray, but it's a pale gray, and it's kind of got splotches on it and stuff. And I don't know yet whether there's actually like markings for his eyes, or if it's just like the round ball or whatever, but whatever the case. Oh, he also doesn't, I'm not sure yet whether he has sculpted on hair or if he's bald. Might be bald. But anyway, in one of their late night chats, while Benji is particularly drunk, and actually has picked Seb off of his pedestal and is actually holding Seb's hand next to his chest and talking to him. Sebi says that he really hates the fact that not only does he not have a body, not only is he just a head with part of a shoulder, but also he's like one color, and he doesn't like the fact that, you know, he's just the stone. But he thinks nothing of it because Benji's drunk. Well, Benji remembers that, and the next night brings a set of paints and pastels and hats and says, okay, you said you want to change how you look, let's do that. And that is one of the things that kind of leads Seb to really fall for Benji, is that not only did he listen to what he had to say, he actually tried to make the situation better. And now it's a regular thing that they do, that Seb lets Benji know that, oh, he wants, you know, a change of looks. So Benji will bring hats and wigs and I think glasses and sunglasses and paints and pastels and scarves, and says like, okay, well, you know, like, let's do this thing. Which, like I said, is very sweet, but it's especially sweet since Seb doesn't interact with anyone else that way. And for a while, I didn't actually know what Seb looked like. I was kind of thinking like, oh, well, maybe he'd be an old Delph harangue, because that was one of my favorite Delph molds back in the day. And then I went, no, I don't think so, I think that's too stylized. And then I went, well, maybe he'd be a freak style Sleepy Sasha, which is more realistic but has very strong features. By the way, I'll put links in the description to all the molds that I mentioned. But something happened. I was browsing the marketplace, just looking at photos, really, and I saw a Impel doll iris that someone had done up as a boy, and suddenly it clicked. That's Seb. Long face, close, eyes are kind of close together, nose is long, and full lips. Now that's him. That's Seb. And I also found another sculpt that's a little bit more realistic than the Impel doll iris, that also made me go, that could also be Seb. And that's a Miracle doll, but I don't remember the name of the sculpt. It'll be in the description. So yeah, so now I know what Seb looks like. And I still don't know whether I'm necessarily going to get him, but I'm starting to lean more towards the I might. And I think because Benji is the one who's supposed to paint and dress, you know, and make Seb look more than just stone, that maybe that will actually give me an opportunity to kind of have a practice head for doing face-ups, without necessarily falling into the, oh, I have to have a character. I mean, after all, Benji was supposed to be a practice head. That didn't work out well. But if it's in Seb's character that he does change his look, maybe that will make it better, maybe it'll work out, I don't know. there's going to be another video after this. There's going to be, well, you'll see. Bye.